Welcome back. It is time for match number 3, and here's a look at our G Fuel key player matchups. On the left, we got Looney from Rise Nation. On the right, it is Urban, the strongest player so far that we've seen this season from Red Reserve.
Yep, his KDs have been on point throughout. However, Looney, a great first series of the day, potential MVP of the weekend. We'll have to wait and see, though. Two great players.
That is your G Fuel key player matchup.
Vegas for Rise Nation was definitely a fluke because the game was very random at the start and they were ahead of the game.
What makes Red Reserve a dangerous team is they're very good at search and destroy. From what I've heard and watched,
I think Rise's weak point is slaying power. I think when they're all slaying, they're a good team, but I don't think they're all slaying consistently enough to keep up with the best teams in the game.
Rated being on that team, I'm pretty sure it'll be a better team just because he did good at champs, and I think he's more of a vocal leader too. Looney
is the key player for them this weekend. If he plays like he has been in the last couple of events, it should be an easy game for us. But if Looney steps up like he has done in the past, it will be a close game.
The series against Red Reserve, I think we'll probably take it 3-1.
I think the outcome against Rise we'll go 2-0. I think the only game where we're struggling is S&D because they're one of the better teams in S&D in the game.
Live from Columbus, Ohio, CWL Stage 2 continues. Up next on the main stage, Red Reserve take on Rise Nation. And I'd like to thank the wonderful Mr. X for joining us live here in the studio.
I'm here.
We still have the wonderful TP and the fantastic Merc here as well. So
we're still here, Tyler.
That was pretty cool.
Right over there. So that was the worst high five.
Yeah,
that I've seen in a while. There you go. That's a little bit better. A little bit better. But I want to start the conversation, of course, of this next series. Merc, I do want to start with you. Okay. Is this one you think that Europe should maybe be taking here? I mean, Rise, they look good to a degree, but throwing away those 2 hard points in the first series, is this one Red Reserve should win?
Should they win? I don't know. I think it's pretty 50-50. I think it's important for both of these teams to win this map. Obviously, looking at these maps, though, that breakout hardpoint, that's a little bit scary if you're Rise because we just saw Red Reserve absolutely beast on this map. But I could definitely see Rise sort of taking those next 3, so I'm going to go Rise 3-1.
Okay.
I mean, we saw, I believe it was Rise Nation against E United. I almost want to say FaZe because Clay was on it, but it was E United. They blew that breakout hardpoint game there. We saw a good game from Red Reserve. I would take Red Reserve in game 1. I think Red Reserve is very good in S&D as well. I think it's a very scary matchup for Rise Nation.
I think it's going map 5. It has it written all over, in my opinion. I'm taking Red Reserve in 5.
Red Reserve in 5. Well, the series is about to get underway. We can send it down to our fantastic casters. Bucket Momo.
Thank you so much, Benson, and perfect timing. We are jumping right into this one. If you're just joining us, Rise Nation should have gone up 2-0 against E United. They blow the series and now find themselves down 0-1. Overall, when it comes to series count, Red Reserve, they go to a game 5 versus Splice, and I have to ask you, Momo, who's been the guy for the team so far today?
Well, Red Reserve, you've got to look maybe towards Shawnee. You know, he has been consistent throughout. However, Joe, he's had some good, some bad, and I think this is really where we see the consistency come through for either of these teams, because Rise, they've started so strong in some of their respawns, but finished so weak. You know, I'm looking at Looney, I'm looking at Shawnee.
Throughout Rise Nation's breakout hardpoint, I kept reminding myself of the margin. They had a 115-point advantage at one point after the first round of rotations. They end up losing to a second E United comeback. This time around, it's Rise scoring first, but Red Reserve has taken control of the first hill. They have the better spawns. They're setting up now for the cell block.
And you've got to remember, Red Reserve had just come off 100-point club in Splice on this map. They've got to be feeling confident, and one person in particular who we're watching is Rated. He oozes confidence in every single series that he's playing. He's 4-on-1 at the moment, working towards those streaks. And of course, the rotation to cell blocks, it's gone Red Reserve's way. Whether they can hang on, though, a lot of time to be gathered from this hill.
And I love talking with Rated. The guy just plays with so much passion every single tournament. And since we saw him at the last stage 1, the man's become engaged.
Yep.
He's providing for the family now as he's getting ready to get married. He is leading the charge at 5-2. And you can see on the other side, no one from Rise Nation really finding their groove quite yet. You heard Shawnee talking about Looney, though. If he keeps playing the way he has at recent tournaments, he feels pretty confident. He thinks Red Reserve has the advantage. But Looney, we saw him really be the difference maker when Rise was causing problems for E United in their first series.
Oh, absolutely. Looney was gunning. He was that player on fire. If he continues with that, Rise Nation, they should be quite comfortable. But the problem is the consistency. And Red Reserve are a team when all 4 players are on the same page, they will cause trouble for a team like Rise Nation. You can already see how close this game is. However, Red Reserve, 2 out of 2, the rotations have been on point. And Shawnee just pushing out, 3 kills go down. Red Reserve will be able to push this out. And you can see Urban, the first to do so. Unsuccessful, though.
Urban leads the lobby at 6 and 5, so it's a very tight slaying battle. No one really stringing together many multi-kills. And it looks like Red Reserve is going to win 2 of these last 3 gunfights. Urban helping out as Joe finally gets the help tracking down Aqua. It's Shiny who picks up the kill. 4 streak now for Shiny, and he goes from 2 and 3, now working towards score streaks. Needs 2 more kills, and he just got tagged up by Looney.
Well, they're going to gather the last 15 seconds here. However, I'm looking at those spawns, and it's pretty much everywhere for Rise Nation, but they will have the control of the commissary. We're going to have Red Reserve maybe fighting from the back line, but Joe taking it slow, trying to go low. And good movement will find himself if he pops up at the right time. This could be a good break here, as no one is in the hill at the moment.
Joe's just dancing. He's baiting, waiting for a player to get into this hard point. Now he makes the move and a perfect execution. Felony, after 3 seconds of being uncontested, thought he was safe. Excellent movement here from Joe. He spots the player on the wall run. His gun fails him just 1 bullet short.
And one thing you guys may have missed at home as well, Shawnee there just killed the anchor of Rise Nation. It gives Rise obviously a very difficult spawn over towards that old hill. And now Red Reserve, they're in a very comfortable spot. They were 100 points up against Splice. We could see the exact same hair pocket going into the second rotation.
I had a chance to watch the last series with Felony backstage, and he was saying that he just had an issue in the first matchup. 2 players he was shooting fine, the other 2 players from United, he just couldn't land his shots. Currently 4 and 10. After promising me he was going to lead the lobby. Look for Felony to be an X factor throughout this game. If he gets things going, Rise Nation can mount the comeback. They're down by about 50 points at this point in the game. Make it 60 here, as Red Reserve will have early control of the new hill.
Well, the first rotation is done and dusted. The one thing I will say, Red Reserve, they seem better on that rotation, but the sheer slaying power of Rise Nation sometimes just able to penetrate the defense of Red Reserve. And now you can see the kill feed is all heading to the North American squad. Red Reserve looking to gather up, regroup, and push together here as the central rooftop is back in action with 35 seconds here. Red Reserve, they don't seem to be making any types of play. They're going down 1 by 1.
I thought that Red Reserve was going to have this center hard point, but Faceno and Aqua string together multiple kills, and now you have Aqua on a 4 streak finally cut down. It's been all Blue, though. In the last 60 seconds, Blue has dominated this kill feed. They're starting to separate themselves in the slaying battle. Felony still a little bit slow, but you got Facento, Aqua, and Looney starting to click.
Well, this is a week for Red Reserve really to kind of prove a point. A lot of people overlook them. They look to Epsilon, they look to Splice when they think of Europe, but Red Reserve, especially Rated, he doesn't like it. He wants to be right up there with them, and rightly so. Currently 20 points ahead, and this time over to Cell Blocks. That rotation again, Red Reserve do have over Rise Nation. You look over to the kills as well. Outslaying just by a small margin is Red Reserve, but still a lot of time to go.
Rated is going to have 2 challengers. The first one's going for a low wall run. Watch out for Aqua on the flank here in about 5 seconds. And here comes Aqua. He charges in, almost picks Shani. Good kill there. Will keep the control, but for how long? Red Reserve, only 1 player left in the back. Viceno is looking for him, going for the high wall run, doubles back, and he's going to have 2 players here outside. Facento is trapped. Red Reserve continues to score, building up the lead to about 50 points again.
And the crazy thing is, you look at your mini-map as well, and it's going to be Rise Nation who gets that grave spawn instantly. However, you've got a pinch coming in. It's all about Shawnee to go on board with him. Would be great, but Joe looking to get into action as well. Here he is. Shawnee takes down 1. He's going to find the second, but Aqua gathers away with just a sliver of health left.
I love that it's not just Benson. Aqua for life. Aqua around the corner is going to be met by 2 players. Trophy system saves them up front, and Urban will chase down the kill eventually. Red Reserve a little bit slow, though, and Rise, they've been setting up in the caves. Here comes the pinch. Urban not getting the help he expected from Rated right away. Rated is going to keep these spawns instead, and you will see the gunfights are won at the front. Red Reserve, they have control of the spawns. They could really put this game away and punish Rise here.
Yeah, there's still 30 seconds left to go on the Graveyard as well, so watch out for Red Reserve to break that 200 mark. But Felony going high with Vicento and Aqua, a 2-2 split as we do see still battling over this Graveyard. And Felony, he actually swoops in and takes that away, and you've got to look at that mini-map once again. Rise Nation, they've completely just taken over Graveyard. They've now got the spawns for Commissary, a very, very good retake.
How did that work? Because I saw one player on the flank, it seemed to distract Urban for a moment, and then everyone else just flooded from the front. Who's losing the gunfights? Is that a battle that you think Red Reserve should have won?
That's one of those moments in a game where you've got 3 players all over the map in different locations, but every single one won their individual gunfight for Rise Nation, and that sometimes is just the difference maker between 2 teams like Rise and Red Reserve. But going into this, it changes hands just like that, a click of a finger, and Red Reserve, they've got the Commissary back.
Vicento is trying to figure out how to break through. His teammates are hitting a narrow choke, and everyone is getting shut down. Rated, hold strong, picks up 2 kills. He's on a 3 streak. Aqua, knowing everyone is injured, runs in alone and just throws himself at the hard point. But it's Red Reserve holding down, and they are now just 25 points away. It's going to take at least one more hill, but they are doing a fantastic job of keeping Rise out.
The interesting thing as well is Rated and Urban are both using the MV4 here, going for that slower pace, if you like, and just putting Rise Nation on the back foot. You're 10 points away from taking it. It will have to go to a 3rd rotation, but it wouldn't surprise me if Red Reserve can end it right here. Urban already set up, overlooking that central rooftop. Rise Nation, they're in a world of trouble.
And Rated just had some phenomenal movement, and he's had it all game long. Never really puts himself out in the open. He makes you fight for every bullet you're going to put into him. Gets his health back. Now it's going to challenge out loading. Helps with 1. Looney's injured, finds the 2nd. The patience is paying off. 3 points to go, and that is going to do it for game number 1. 250 to 131. Red Reserve making a statement again here on Breakout.
Well, that's the Raid that we love. You know, that high Slayer, 20 and 10, 7 kill streak to end the game. And again, a very dominating performance here on Breakout. You know, is this a specialist map for these guys? I was actually speaking to Raid before this weekend. He said, watch us on Throwback. Retaliation, I correct myself. Watch on Retaliation. You know, no European team has got over 150 points. And seeing them on Breakout, I can see why. They're very, very structured. They're very, very disciplined. But just those 2 MV4s working together, Shawnee, Rated, bouncing off each other, it's nice to see.
Every time we thought Rise Nation is set up, they're going to hold this. Red Reserve comes in, even with the NV4s in hand, winning the up-close and personal fights throughout that game. Felony didn't drop the numbers he promised me, and I think that is going to be something to look out for. We highlighted Looney. He had moments, but really didn't shine. No one from Rise Nation really just throwing up massive numbers.
Yeah, you know, we didn't have anyone from Rise Nation, you know, pulling a terrible performance. For example, like Silly at the start of some United games, Arsties as well. But all 4 of them were just 1 step behind, I felt. And we heard in the pre-game interviews, if you like, that, you know, Rated, Red Reserve, they said Looney, he has to be that key factor. And he was in game number 1 of the day. Game 2, though, so far, it just looks like, you know, average Looney, which, you know, isn't a bad thing, isn't a great thing, but he needs to be better.
We'll keep our eyes on all 4 players from Rise Nation because someone has to get something going. Let's take a look at the numbers from game number 1. Rated, he impressed. 18 and 10, I believe he finishes with. Oh, excuse me, 20 and 10, a 2.0 on the other side. You got Vicento, 16 kills, a 1.0 with the most hill time on his squad. But really, this is all about who's controlling the key hardpoint. Cell block, Grave, and Commissary dominated by Red Reserve.
It was all rotations. We saw, you know, Rated straight off the block. He was rotating to cell block before anyone else. Same with Graveyard, bar 1, and of course going to the Commissary. The box score says it all, really. However, Throwback S&D is going to be game number 2. And, you know, Red Reserve, they're renowned for their search and destroy play.
Trying to think of how many teams can start a day 0-2 in groups and come back out and make it through. I know Evil Geniuses did it back in stage 1. Has anyone else done it up to this point? That's what we're looking at for these 2 teams. Both are already 0-1 overall in the series count. You only get 6 matches, so this is a big one, a big first game here for Red Reserve, and they're looking to jump out to a 2-0 lead with their next search and destroy. The map is going to be Throwback, and I got to get your thoughts coming into this search and destroy. Who's the player to watch?
Player to watch, I will be looking... I'm going to go with Looney again for Rise Nation. He's been phenomenal throughout, and surprisingly, I would probably pick as my MVP for the day, even though technically They haven't won a series, and in this one, it's not looking any better. But for Red Reserve, I'm going to go with Urban. You know, he's the one that's always kind of on the walls, flying around, causing trouble. But we have already seen some of these teams play on this map before. We're going to see them again. It should be an interesting one. Both teams, for me, are very, very good S&D teams.
We know that Looney always carries the bomb here for Rise Nation, and they love to target this lower bridge. Remember, Rise jumped out to a 3-1 advantage before losing in round 11 to E United on this map in their first match of the day. Will they be able to correct their issues? So far, no first blood yet, as all 8 players have survived. Aqua's on the flank, but Rated strikes first. Aqua's going to find Joe, though, and that is going to make it now a 2-on-2. As we see the kills landing, it's just Rated left up here for Red Reserve.
Now the bomb is down. The one thing I'd love to see him play is the time. However, we've seen it time and time again. All the analysts say no one really jumps on the bomb, and I don't think he really needs to take this challenge so early on. And I don't know what it is about these players. We've seen it time and time again when it's a 1v2 and you've got the bomb down. I almost think it's, you know, play that time. You know, sit in a corner, get in a position where maybe, you know, if he runs through bowling or, you know, try and challenge towards the end of the round, a lot more success would come of it rather than going around the 20-15 second mark. But Rise Nation, they clean up. They have the first round in the bag, and going further to this, see how Red Reserve do reply. The one thing I will say, Red Reserve, they're very, very distinct on what they want to do. There's never a hesitation in Search and Destroy usually with this team.
Keep in mind that it was Red Reserve that drew first blood. Rise still wins their attacking round. Here, Felony is going to get first blood, instantly traded by Urban. So it's going to be Red Reserve with bomb in hand of Shani, attacking the outside. As we have this bomb planted, here comes the pounce from Rise Nation. Is Shani going to get out with his life? It looks like it.
And this is a very favorable position for Red Reserve. They should take this round here. There's got to be something special from Rise Nation to retake this. And you've got to look at that mini-map. There's one player flanking. It's going to be Looney. That gate engagement in the middle was everything. Urban takes it. Should be a Red Reserve round. And now a 1v2 for Aqua. Very difficult. And even a smart play from Urban pushing around the back with 18 seconds left.
Aqua's going to clutch it. You just wait, Momo. He's got 7 seconds to be amazing.
He's not got too much time. And I think he's just going to be waiting for that kill. He's on a 5-0. He's playing for the streaks, and rightly so. I don't disagree with this play at all. 125 away from that Trinity Rocket. Even though they've been pretty poor so far this weekend, those score streaks are so influential on Search and Destroy.
So Aqua doesn't get the defuse. The round goes to Red Reserve as they successfully attack the B-bomb site. Now we will switch sides once again. Rise, they went down low under the bridge on their first attack. It was Looney. Normally they spread Aqua out to the top. You're going to see exactly that once again. And will he have a challenger? Yes, he will. Does Rated have a sniper in his hand? That is the big question. The answer, it's an NV4. Looney is going to get dropped, so first blood to Red Reserve.
And this is great for Red Reserve because not only has the first blood been drawn, but Aqua, the intel has been given. Now they know that they're at an advantage over at the A site 3-2. And you can see Rise Nation, they're backing off and almost hesitating a bit. Rightly so, though. You're at a disadvantage. Aqua needs to play for these streaks. He needs to pick up a couple of kills. Look at the flank coming in.
I was going to say, keep your eyes on Rated. He has to wait for his teammate Urban. They're currently not in a position to trade. And Urban is going to spot a player go down to the site. It's Felony, 4 perfect bullets in his back. Aqua is getting tagged up as Vicento also still up for Rise Nation. Make it just Aqua now. He's 5-0. Do you continue playing for your streaks here? How do you do it?
You have to. The one thing you can't do at this point is jump off a map, which a lot of people would do. But really, for him, he just needs to stay alive. For me, it just needs to, unfortunately for him, he needed to somehow stay alive, whether it was hide in a corner, just hide anywhere. But Red Reserve, they know he's 5-0. They hunt him down. No streaks for Aqua. That's very, very difficult now for Rise Nation, because that was what they were almost betting on. They were betting on Aqua getting those streaks.
Rise, they take your first round. They lose the following 2. Red Reserve trying to jump out to a 3-1 advantage as they will put the bomb back in the hands. Actually, it's not going to Shani. Rated is going to take it this time around. And what is the game plan this time for Red Reserve?
Well, it looks like fast-paced action straight through the middle. They're looking for map control. The first blood falls to Looney. Answered back, though, instantly. And 3 kills already been made. It's a 2v3. No trade coming in for that 3rd kill. And this, again, puts Rise Nation at an advantage. But Rated out of nowhere picks Aqua straight out of the head. 4 clean bullets. Now makes it a 2v2, and he escapes with his life. And this is what I mean about kind of no hesitation. Their game plan right now is just waiting. They know that Rise Nation like to push one around the flank. Let's see how they play this one out.
It's crazy to see how popular the NV4 has become.
Yeah.
Felony running the ERAD is looking for a short-range gunfight, but so many Rise Nation players going with the long-range AR. Rated has one as well, and he has the bomb down. Facento all alone in the middle of the map. His teammate Felony just spotted one, and he is going to get turned. Shawnee catches him just at the right time. Facento throws himself between 3 players. This is all Red Reserve.
Yeah, it really is. I feel Felony should have cleaned that kill up. He saw him first. I don't know why he kind of, again, hesitated. We're going to see Facento actually jump straight on the bomb. Is anyone going to be able to check it? Yes, they are. 3-1 to Red Reserve again. I felt it should have gone to Rise Nation, and I was saying this on the desk that it just feels like it's just the same time and time again for Rise Nation. They'll have these great moments, these special moments, and it all just seems to go wrong. Started so well, obviously, at Vegas, and ever since then, they've just not been the same.
They just need kills. That's all it is. You look at the scoreboard, you got Aqua doing something.
Yeah.
Where's everybody else? It's time to show up. You got 1 from Facento, 1 from Looney, 1 from Felony. Turn it around right here. United, they brought their game back from 3-1. Will Rise Nation be able to do the same?
Well, map control seems to be the key here for Rise, straight through the middle. One thing I am questioning is Looney being so far pushed up with that bomb in hand. He's going to be challenged as well. Both so low on health there. A trade comes down, a 3v2 now in favor of Red Reserve. And Aqua finds himself in a difficult position. He does have the backup of Looney. Looney falls and now a 1v3.
Shawnee with that controversial pistol is getting the job done. That was a bit of a difference maker in the 1v1 versus Looney. And you see Urban in your final kill cam here, chasing down Aqua with a pistol of his own, the EMC going to town.
He loves it. He really does. I was thinking on the desk as well last week, we kind of talked about, I forgot who it was, a North American player, but as soon as it was talked about like the best pistol, all the Europeans went crazy. They were like, have you seen Urban? He likes to pull the pistol out. He has been for the last 2 years, but definitely in contention for the best pistol shot in the world.
I was wondering if Joe had a sniper because he had 3 players all charging him. Look at Red Reserve. They're going to rotate all the way around after baiting out players at the opposite side of the map. They go over to the silo trying to plant at the barn. Aqua trying to chase him out. But unfortunately, bomb has already been planted.
Again, very tough decision here. Aqua so close to taking Shawnee out. Shawnee's 1 away from his payload. 30 seconds left. You've got to favor Red Reserve in this position. You see once again Urban hitting a smart flank. Joe's going to pick up 1. However, finally the numbers go in favor. But no, it's Urban from behind. The flank comes in and 5-1's the scoreline. They're search and destroy, man. They said it. Everyone says it.
They mean it, though.
Oh, they absolutely do.
Going big here. Rise Nation does not have an answer. No one was watching that bomb site. Bomb gets planted down. Then you see Red Reserve just fall back and win all of the gunfight challenges.
As well, a perfect pinch coming in from Red Reserve. We were talking before, you know, sometimes a pinch, one side will push first, and it's not the way to do it. Red Reserve, they've got the timing on point, and this time it's aggression coming out from Joe as well as Urban, doubling up, and now another 1v2.
Oh, no.
Aqua's going to hit the deck, and the numerical advantage just seems to be in Red Reserve's favor every single time, but a 1v1 is going down to Shawnee. Will take it away, and that's going to be 6-1. It's clean, it's concise. Red Reserve take the search and destroy, and they'll be 2-0 up in the series.
You're going into the final round, and 3 players are at 1 kill. You have Looney finishing 1-7. Simply couldn't get the job done was Rise Nation. They were getting outgunned, and the pistols coming into play. I feel like I saw at least 5 different pistol kills in the kill feed throughout that game. And now we find ourselves with Rise Nation looking at an 0-2 day and potentially, well, the worst way to start it possible. If you get 0-3'd by Red Reserve, who you're kind of fighting for that 3rd place spot with, it's an awful start.
And the one thing that a lot of teams talked about last week was, you know, if you had that day where you played Elevate, you know, you had your easier game. The one thing I will say is this Rise Nation team, you know, they're going to have what is probably going to be classed as their easier days. They've not played against Splice. Yes, United obviously were kind of touched 2nd place, but it's a game they need to win.
Red Reserve, they went to a Game 5 versus Splice, trying to 3-0 Rise Nation. We'll find out if that is going to happen. Don't go anywhere. The CWL continues when we return. Yeah, that's right. Here's a live look at the teams. We are ready to go. Game number 3. We got Red Reserve taking on Rise Nation. And Rise Nation, they are in the hole big. They lost to E United to start the day. They're 0-2 in this series, looking for an awful start to our stage 2. They got to get it going right here in Uplink. The map is Precinct. How do they get it done?
Really, the slaying power needs to be better. It really does. They showed signs of light against the United. Looney was on fire for pretty much that whole series. But versus Red Reserve, they've been a little bit flat here, Chris.
Facento with the drone. Felony trying to lead the charge here. He struggled in game number 1, and you see him not finishing the first fight, and he is going to get tagged up by the second player. They simply don't have the lead blockers they need to score early. Looney trying to change that. Nice grenade, better finish. Aqua's in the feed as well, so here comes the drone. Just one player to beat on defense. It's Urban. Looney knows he doesn't have support, so they're going to try and wrap this.
Yeah, I like the way Looney regathers with his teammates there. It's going to add a little bit of time to this play, but it is going to be worth it for them now. It's that wave of kills they need to make to secure the play. Shawnee's going to back with a nice double kill. Can he find the third? Not going to happen as Felony does shut him down, but that drone lingering around. Felony doesn't want to pick it up, but he slides straight into it as Joe takes advantage of that play. He's going to make light work of Felony and Facento, and now the push from Red Reserve.
Red Reserve loves to just attack so fast on the counters, and here's the first attempt. It's perfect. Rated is going to drop it in for a 1-point advantage. The battles in the center of the map will keep the drone staying in the very center untouched. You can see the mini-map. 2 players coming off the spawn. Player number 3, Aqua, was trying to flank. That flank failed. And this could be another push from Red Reserve if Looney goes down.
Yeah, Looney being a bit hesitant to kind of grab this drone, and rightfully so, as his teammates do come off spawn. But he's going for this regroup again. He's pushing round towards the gas station and just waiting, biding his time, because he needs to make that first couple of kills. When I say he, more of his team. Facento's going to open the doors. But Joe and Radiant and Shawnee all answering back. And Red Reserve, is this just another counterplay from them? We'll have to wait and see. Joe's just kind of pushing through. He's getting in a very good position, though, for maybe a spawn trap.
Yeah, he's trying to keep these players spawning in that back alley. The first one spawned out at gas. He realized it, ran to the top of the map. His teammates, though, will fall. And Shawnee will not get very far with the drone. 3 down now for Red Reserve. Rise Nation on the counterattack. Can they get the 1v1 battle from Felony against Rated? Nope, Rated holds strong.
Big clutch there coming from Rated. He bides the time as well for more flanks coming in. Joe going through the middle. You've got Shawnee and Urban backing up Rated here now. And again, you look at the kill feed, mostly red. Urban with a beat down as well. Shouldn't be happening. And we're going to see another trade. Should go in Red Reserve's favor. Yes, it does. Shawnee, again, so close to taking Felony down. But this has been a very, very tough start for both teams, back and forth. The score line just at 1-0.
Just trying to look, yeah, no one from Red Reserve more than +2 or -1. Very tight slaying battle up to this point. On the other side, you got Aqua. He's already into double digits. You need more out of Looney. You need more out of Felony. We highlighted these players earlier in the match. They're still yet to impress. Aqua's going to charge out spots too, makes the call out. But now you just lose Felony and Looney. So this push completely stalled out. Great defense from Red Reserve.
And keep your eye on the minimap, because Joe's doing exactly the same. He pushes right through the middle, straight into a power position. He's going to take out 1 with a potential 2. But Shawnee's already there. He goes for the pass. I'm not sure what that was. A little bend it like Beckham as 1 puts in for the 2-point play. And now Red Reserve lead by 3.
Pass, score. 3-0 lead with 1:20 in our first half. It's been all Red Reserve. Rise Nation hasn't even thrown the drone at their opponent's base.
Yeah, and this was really Red Reserve's kind of downfall, was their uplink. It was by far their weakest mode. Their hardpoint has been on point. Their S&D says it all. But their uplink was that one game which could kind of give the other team that momentum changer. We saw, obviously, at Anaheim, MB reverse sweep them. They're not looking to let Rise Nation do the same.
First toss, and it's good. So this brings it to just 1 possession. You still have Felony set up with the K-bar. He's overlooking, trying to find the spawners. Here they both are on the drone. Red Reserve is going to try and turn this into points. Drone carrier is going to pull back. He has 2 lead blockers. Rated is going to lead the charge at the top through construction. And he is going to find the back melee on Aqua. Insta-kill finish there, and now you see the drone is moving up for the dunk. Will they get the pass? Rated couldn't find anybody. Joe is going to punch his way to victory. He's got at least a 1-point play here.
Well, will it be intercepted? Yes, it will. Thrown away, 20 seconds left. Still plays available to be made. You've got Shawnee trying to make a nuisance for the team of Rise Nation, but this drone It's going to linger around. It's going to go to the hands of Facento. But more than likely, with a reset, that's going to end the half at 3-1. You look across the board. Shawnee, -3. Urban, -2. Joe and Rated slightly positive. But it seems so one-sided. Even though it's only a 2-point lead, Red Reserve just seemed in control of that pocket.
And that was a fantastic stop by Rise Nation. I thought it was a guaranteed 1-point play. I thought Joe was going to go up and over Felony at the end. Felony or Facento, one of them was in position. Either way, the drone is grabbed out of the air. The score remains just one possession game here as Rise Nation still has 5 minutes to work with. Red Reserve, if you got one more kill out of Rated, that was a guaranteed dunk.
Absolutely. You know, the kills like that can really make the difference in a game mode like Uplink. Straight off the bat, fast-paced action coming in from Urban, Looney, and Felony, and already kills put on the board. That drone's still in the middle, though, and a big job for Rated here. He's taken down by the double of Rise Nation, and so far, so good. Aqua has been phenomenal on a 3-kill streak to start things off. Could this be a potential point?
A team kill coming in from Facento is going to slow down Rise Nation. Aqua says, I'm going for it, and he tosses it through. The safe play instead of the dunk. It's now just a 1-point game. A dunk will take the lead here for Rise Nation. You look at the mini-map, Felony protecting the drone, but not long. It's Joe with the ERAD constantly causing trouble in these hallways.
Yeah, Joe, again, has been a player which has been under the eye of a lot of people for underperforming. He's having another good game here, 16-11. He's on a 3-kill streak and bouncing back and forth with the drone. Is looking to go up and over, try and duke out a Rise Nation player. Not successful this time as we see Rise Nation all over that kill feed once again. Rated finally answering back here, but still a 1-point lead is all that separates these teams. Up and over, will it connect? It looks good, it is good. Smart play.
I love the rainbow right there, drops it in. 3-3, we are all tied up. Rise Nation scoring twice here in our second half. Red Reserve, they don't have an attempt yet. This could be their first. They need the first 2 kills though. The player Shawnee is jammed up. Rated trying to answer back. Aqua down to 1 bullet. Rated's gonna find it. Urban, no health, is gonna lose the gunfight. Felony holds strong. Rise on the counter. Felony, he just has the FTL jump. No real payloads to work with here, but Aqua's camo could be a difference maker.
Interested Scarab use. It's gonna play out for them as Shawnee taken down as well as Joe, and now the push for Rise Nation, should I say, will come into play. Rated and Urban trading things out. This is great for Rise Nation. With 3 minutes left on the clock, they could be able to take the lead here, but no, shut down for a second. 3 players do fall down, and now an all-important 1v1 is going to be going to Facento, and a dunk will come in. Again, those kills are separating the best, the good from the great.
Facento killed a teammate throughout that. He killed his drone carrier in Felony. So if he doesn't get that dunk, you know there's going to be problems over at Rise Nation. But Facento finishes with a triple. He gets the dunk of his own. And now we see it's Rise Nation with the lead. Everyone is lining up for Shawnee, though, as he picks off Aqua first. Grenades save the day. Rise should be able to push out of their base now.
Yeah, they really should. FTL camo has been used. It should be converted. And like that, a smart play. However, there's a body block. And it does convert. A smart play from a Rise Nation player just to get their body in that portal so no points can be converted. However, very, very difficult to do every single time.
That was Felony, and he is heating up. He's now +6. And you're going to see the camo coming in. It's Facento, not Aqua with it in Uplink. And you're going to see Facento dropping that one through. Another 2-point advantage for Rise. Red Reserve coming off the spawns. Facento is going to spot them all, puts bullets in 1, finds the second. And you're going to see this drone scooped up now by Aqua.
Absolutely.
Facento clearing the way.
Oh, he's making light work of this. He's already taken his team down a few times. He's going to take them down 24-17, but no. Shawnee does answer back, and Looney will be able to clean up. 9-5 is the scoreline. You know, you've used your FTL, you've used your camo, your reactive armor is gone. There's not many payloads left available for either team right now, and we've got a 4-point lead for Rise Nation, arguably on the more favorable side.
Grenades going out. The kills will be cleaned up by Looney. Joe on your screen, though, from Red Reserve, won't be able to flank. Facento finds him. Rated answering with the 2-piece of his own, is looking for the 3rd, but the drone is in Looney's hands, and he is just hanging out up top. Drone is stopped short, but 64 seconds left on the clock. Red Reserve needs 2 dunks.
Yeah, we've got overdrive for Joe. However, they need to make the kills to be able to utilize this payload. There is one standing in the way. Facento having an absolute stellar game right now. 50 seconds left. This wave should go to Rise Nation. And you know what? Shawnee trying to make something of it. The 1-point play, it's going to be intercepted. And again, it's going to be denied. Rise Nation Is this the game mode where Red Reserve, could they be throwing this? Could they almost just be throwing their chances away? We've seen it time and time again with Red Reserve. We'll have to wait and see, but it's looking good for Rise Nation.
It wasn't a massive lead at the half, and that's what you had to be worried about if you're a Red Reserve fan. Now Rise is just piling on the scores, and you have to take notice of what Facento and Felony have brought to this game. +6 from Felony. You got +8 from Facento. We were waiting for someone other than Aqua to wake up. Now you got 2 more teammates involved.
Yeah, and there is a classic Uplink where when you slay heavy, you will come out with the win. We saw Facento and what he was doing on both sides of the map. You know, we saw obviously Red Reserve struggle on that second side, but Rise Nation showing signs of light after a tough hardpoint loss. Search and Destroy beaten. They come back in Uplink to make this series a little bit closer at 2-1.
We saw some nice interceptions in this one. We saw a body block, which delayed it, but I felt like that was probably the most impressive part, was in the second half of the game when it mattered most, when Rise Nation's series is on the line, Felony steps up. I think he was the first one that got the interception. He was also the one that got the body block, but more importantly, went back up and got the kill on Rated.
Yeah.
Rated doesn't go down there. He picks up 2 kills on players over at Vending, and that is now a rallied score coming through.
And you think about it, kind of the slaying battle for me was Facento and Rated. They were both putting up really, really strong numbers. Facento half the time was taking his team down, which wasn't helping, but it didn't matter because he was taking 3 of the opposing team down as well. The slaying really coming in for Facento. It's what he was like, you know, back in Vegas. He was that one with a 1.3 KD to end it. The MVP, if you like. In fact, he was the MVP of Vegas. Could we be seeing old Bryce? Could we be seeing signs of light from Rise to push this to a Game 5? The one thing that I will say is that hardpoint that we've seen already from Red Reserve has been looking very, very hot. Going into the next map, we will be onto Scorch.
Who do you think that favors? We've seen the strong NV4 play on maps like Breakout from Red Reserve, but do they have the SMGs to keep up with Rise?
I honestly think it more favors Rise, and the reason why is Red Reserve, that's where you're going to have Shawnee and Rated kind of doing a lot of work with the NV4. The one player for me that I wish kind of I could see more of or doing a little bit better would be Joe. And he is that fast-paced SMG, and at the moment I've got to hand it to Rise for their kind of faster pace, and I think we could be seeing another Game 5 here, Puckett.
We talked about the positive numbers from Facento, Felony with a +6. Looney was just -1 as they completed the uplink, but he was doing the dirty work in the short-range corridors with that SMG. He's going to be my player to watch as we go into Scorch. And Rise Nation, they need this one, trying to finish the day at 1-1. They need to win the Scorch hardpoint, and then they'll take it to a breakout Search and Destroy. If you remember back to Anaheim, Rise was 6-2 in Search. It was their best game mode.
Yeah.
But they are winless in Search and Destroy so far here in Stage 2.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if it even goes to that point. Of course, Red Reserve, a very dominant Search and Destroy team. I'd actually say Breakout is more, you know, in favor, again, of Rise Nation, only because I've not seen Red Reserve really play it that much.
I don't think we've seen a whole lot of teams play Breakout Search.
It really is kind of that map and mode where it's combined. It's like no one has that kind of certain set strategy, and when a team does, it really does show. But Scorch hardpoint, the one thing I'll be looking for is Rated. Is he going to be on those rotations as much as Breakout? Or are we going to see the fast-paced action from Joe? On the flip side, are we going to see Looney from the first series dropping 40 bombs left, right, and center? And again, the payloads for me, very, very crucial on this one. They need to be utilized. I'm just excited to get into it, Puckett.
We've already had a Game 5 today between Splice and Red Reserve. Red Reserve trying to avoid a second Game 5. They could lock up the series right here on Scorch. Rise Nation will be digging deep. And for me, it's all about closing, because we've seen them open up incredible. You saw what they did against the United, building up 80-point, 115-point leads, and then choking in the second half of hardpoints. They have to keep the pedal to the metal all 10 minutes here.
I'm just excited and intrigued more to see what Red Reserve are actually using, you know, Rated, you know, that prolific AR player. I'll obviously keep my eyes and update you as well. But so far, so good for Rise Nation as 3 go down for Red Reserve. That middle bridge, that'll favor the Rise squad as they do push out Red Reserve as well.
It looks like three K-bars, and so far, I believe it's just Facento running the NV4 in the lobby. There's Looney now with the E-Rad. So we'll keep our eyes on the guns as this game goes on. Rise Nation opens up with the first 30 points unanswered. And here's Facento just cleaning everything up.
He's continuing from the uplink. He's got a lot of momentum right now. He's had a fantastic game on Precinct. He's taken it into the Hardpoint. He's 5-0. He'll be working towards those streaks as well, so we'll have to see whether he is. He's now trading out with Aqua. He puts him first, and a very, very smart play as he finds number 6, but it only unlocks the 1 kill streak. And we're going to see the Hardpoint rotate 52-0. However, Turbine, we've seen teams take the majority of this. We could see this a little bit closer by the end.
It is kind of crazy because you can get a full 60 on Turbine, but I feel like you should never get 52 of the opening 60 points in the center of the map. Fantastic start for Rise, and they just broke the Turbine.
Just like that. Red Reserve, they had the setup, they had kind of everything going for them, yet broken within 7 points. We'll have to see if they can answer back, though, and break it back, because they can't give the next 30 seconds away. We'll be sitting at 100-7. Aqua taking down 2 down, taking 2 down as well as Felony. I believe that was with his trophy system, of course, attached to him. Red Reserve trading things out here. Shawnee and Looney back-to-back, but again, Rise Nation almost just 1 step ahead, and with only 10 seconds, I think Rise Nation have won the deal again there. They've got the rotation to Hangar. Red Reserve, they're in a lot of trouble.
That was a 15-point 1v1 won by Urban going up against Looney. However, there's more reinforcements for Rise at the new Hardpoint, and you are going to see Aqua set up to protect. He knows players are going to come. He's been watching the Sky Bridge, finds the first kill. Now a pressure will come from the window. And the slow walk is going to catch Aqua off guard. The bait comes in. And Red Reserve is trying to flush everyone out, but there's still players from Rise. Facento staying alive, finally Rated is going to chase him down.
Problem there was Red Reserve were getting the majority of the kills, but Rise Nation was spawning, what, 20 feet away from it, getting right back in it, whereas Red Reserve, they were across the other side of the map, and again, it's going to prove too much for them. Red Reserve outslayed in that gun battle, but Rise Nation, they just spawned closer. They got the rotation, and so deservedly, they take back the Hangar, and with 15 seconds, they should break the 100-point mark.
And I can't wait to see the assist at the end of this series.
Wow.
How many team kills are coming in? Let's take a look. You saw some fantastic numbers, 14 and 6 from Facento, but like you said, Joe is having a silly game. 1 and 11 in the first round of rotations.
1 and 11 simply is not good enough. He's going to double it just like that with 2. Well, you're playing a team where, you know, this is kind of a must-win for both squads. Rise and Red Reserve, they're 0-1 each if you've missed anything today. And they're hoping to take at least 1 series in day number 1 here of Group Yellow. And now with a 50-point lead, Rise Nation, they're looking dominant.
Joe is bobbing and weaving. Meanwhile, it's Urban and Rated picking up all the kills, a 2-piece each. 12 and 9 is Rated. He has been so consistent for this squad. Urban, also one of the flashier players on the team. Despite the lack of kills from Joe, he is doing some nice objective work. Urban's going to fall, though. Rated picks up 2. The trade's going back and forth. It's all coming down to Looney here from Rise Nation, going up against Rated, and Rated wins a 3rd. That is his 5th in a row now.
Yeah, and just like that, a 50-point lead is cut in half. And now we're going to see it down to 15 points. We're going back to the bridge where previously Rise Nation, they dominated the first side with 52-0. Will we see the same? Urban, a player which likes to get up high and cause trouble for the opposing squad. He's going to be taken down, and Facento and Felony doubling up here, making a triple there for the squad. And Facento taking 3 out. A 4-kill streak is 20 and 8 right now. He's had 2 maps back-to-back, which has been flawless.
Facento is heating up. He's getting loud on the stage as well. Red Reserve starting to crumble. Imagine what the score would be, though, if Joe is adding just a few more kills to this feed. It's all blue there in the last team fight. Just 1 kill going in favor of Urban before he's taken out by Looney. Aqua pre-firing the doorway. They know exactly where they're going to be spawning. The flank coming in from Facento once again. They've built up a 50-point advantage. I don't even think we're going to see another contest from Red Reserve. Instead, they're going to try and stack up, and that peak from Joe could cost him dearly.
Yeah, and it's Facento v Joe. Look at the 2 players. One's on 22 kills, Joe's on 4. Over 5 times the amount here as we go into the turbine. Once again, Red Reserve, they have control of the turbine. They should keep control, but look at that. Aqua breaking through. He's got the payload.
Get them all.
Nearly available, but 3 kills back-to-back. What can you say? They're making light work here of Red Reserve. I can't feel more that we're going to see a game number 5 here unless Red Reserve turns something around straight away. Okay, 3 kills.
I don't believe it.
That.
Yeah, you said I think we're going to see a game 5. I don't necessarily believe that yet. It's only a 50-point advantage for Rise.
With a player going 5 and 16, you can't win a 3v4. Joe needs to step it up. If he does in this last quarter, absolutely. They can finish it right here.
Red Reserve is scoring, even though Rise Nation, they broke Red on their initial push, they couldn't hold. Now they're all rotating first for the new spawns to the next hardpoint in the hangar, but look at your scoreboard. It's down to about 20 points. At the end of this, it's going to be a 15-point difference.
And the one thing I do like about Red Reserve this time, you see number 8, which is actually Joe. He's going for the spawns. They didn't do this last time, and it punished them. However, Aqua, he's going to be taking a lot of damage here in the hardpoint. They're going to be extending on that lead, but now Joe coming in for a pinch. A must-win gunfight, but no, Rise Nation are going to take control again. And look at the spawns from Red Reserve. They're going to be spawning at Turbine. It takes 10 seconds to get across to the hangar. This is not good news for Red Reserve.
Rise Nation rebuilding their lead. They let it come down to about a 6-point difference. Now up by 40. They still have 70 to go.
25 points left on this hard point. You've got to get something from this Red Reserve. 2 kills come in. Aquarance is back with 1 for Center as well. And now Shawnee. They do get the spawns, but is it too late? There's only 15 seconds left on this hill. They're definitely not out of this. You're right, Chris. Maybe I wrote them off a little bit too soon. They were fantastic over towards the drill. This could be a very close game coming into it. We're going to see payloads as well. But Joe, he needs to step it up in this last moment of the hardpoint.
Keep your eyes on arrow number 5. Rated was a monster on this hill. He closed it out with a 5 streak, winning 3 individual battles. Joe, he's put away the ERAD. He's pulled out the K-bar, and here comes the pressure.
One thing to note as well, Felony not having the greatest of games. He's 9-8, 19 now as well. So maybe something that Red Reserve can punish. Rated again. They were fantastic on the drill. Have they got any score streaks is the question. I don't think Rise Nation has, but a few payloads may be coming in. Rated has the camo. Another kill back-to-back. He was on a 5-kill streak last time, if you remember. This time, a 4-kill streak.
Shani and Urban in the kill feed. Aqua answers with a 2-piece of his own, and now he's inside. Red Reserve has to challenge. They can't give up any free points here, and Joe knows it. He is going to charge in, buy some time contesting, and you're going to see no one else here from Rise Nation push in. I thought they were all going to hit. Instead, they're setting up for the bridge.
Indeed they are, and they were very dominant on the bridge. Joe gets a double kill, which actually grants them about 10 points there on the drill, so good plays from Joe. The only play, really, through the actual map itself. Let's see if he can pick it up going into this one. Rise Nation, they've had this bridge control every single time, and it's looking no different. 200 points have been broken, but only 20 points separate the two teams. Red Reserve, they need to get in there. Is Rady going to use his camo here, though, or is he going to save it for the turbine? I think he should save it.
We're guaranteed to see at least one more hard point, and that has to be in the back of Red Reserve's mind. But currently, they're spawning on the opposite side of the map. They're spawning at the hangar. They want to be spawning over at Turbine. Rise Nation, they continue to score here. Red Reserve finally breaking in and takes out Felony. But look at the payloads. You got Rated with his camo ready to pop. No one else really near. Shawnee might be working towards his, but will it be in time?
7 seconds left. Red Reserve, they are going to break the 200 mark. This next Turbine Hill, we've seen it broke about 6 times between the two teams. Camo may be used by Rated here, and it wouldn't surprise me if he just ran to the back. I'm not sure about that play. He was the first to enter with camo, and just like that, Rise Nation, they punish him for that. The spawns come in for Red Reserve, and they are miles away. But Joe, 3 kills. Now's the time to shine, 11 and 25, but if he makes a mark here on the game, this could keep them in it. His teammates are backing him up over behind the L-bend as well, Puckett.
The last one up, Joe picks up 3. He's stopping Rise Nation from scoring. Buying time, Urban finds 2 more. And now this is Red Reserve with 25 points still to go before hangar.
Joe's got a third of his kills within about the last 30 seconds. There's 20 seconds. They can take the lead here. The hangar is where it's going to go down, but look at the payloads for Rise Nation. You've got Centurions, you've got your camo, you've got your reactive armor, your FTL. This should be Rise Nation's, even though they're behind.
Rated is going to be the key player, and he just got the first pick on Facento. He's going for the spawns. Red Reserve knows they need just 1 break. They're trying to take their time, but that's a big opening kill from Felony. Rated down.
Big kill from Shawnee, gets away with his life, and now they have the spawns. They've got a pinch, but no, they're all going through the same spot. Aqua and Looney destroy that. Looney as well, using the reactive, I believe. And just like that, they're 10 seconds away, and it's all down to Rated.
15 points, 10 points to go here for Rise Nation. They are 2 kills away, and that should lock it up unless Joe can do it again. He just picked up 2. will not find the other two. 250 to 228. Back and forth game. Rise Nation this time narrowly edging out their opponent, never letting go of the final lead. That was ugly though. They were up big. You let Red Reserve back in the game. And for a moment, it looked like rated after that first pick and the spawns, they could have retaken it.
That wasn't a nice hard point for either team. There was a lot of sloppy plays. There was two players, Joe and Felony, I believe, you know, having very, very tough matches as well.
Yep.
Payloads weren't particularly great, but as well, kind of going into that last one, you know, Rise Nation should have ended that a lot quicker. Joe getting that three-piece over onto Turbine kind of kept them in it. I just feel Rise Nation, yes, they take the map, but there's a lot of holes in this team, and Search and Destroy, we saw what happened the first time. Red Reserve will be looking to end it this time on Game 5, which they failed to do, of course, against Splice.
Red Reserve, will they be able to shut the door on this series, or is it Rise Nation coming back and stealing it away to close out their day here in our second stage? Don't go anywhere. More Call of Duty when we return. And we are back. Red Reserve and Rise Nation going the distance. It's a game number 5. Who is going to walk away with a win on day 1? Both teams losing their first series of the day. Rise, they were in the hole early, but they've brought it back, Momo, and now they have a chance to steal this game.
Yep, they have all the momentum right now. Red Reserve already lost a game 5 versus Splice. You can't help but feeling that's in the back of their minds as well. However, this time it's on Breakout, so a little bit different for both teams.
Looney's got the E-Rat, he's going to find 3 players. There's the injured Joe, now going to be challenging against Shawnee, who just simply outguns him from range. Facento left up with Aqua in the 2 versus 3.
One thing I would say in a 2v3, you've got to play the numbers, you've got to play together, unless you can just pick one off as easy as that. Aqua now is going to be uncontested. He has the backup of Facento and the bomb in hand as well, making light work of Urban. Rated left to clutch up.
And Rated's like, hey, Urban, hold this. I'm going to go on a huge flank. Meanwhile, Aqua just pokes, gets the kill. And now Rated is chasing both players. It's the buddy system by Facento and Aqua who is carrying the bomb.
Yeah, and I think right now he knows that they've pushed around their spawn. He's heading over to B. The problem is if the bomb goes down, it's going to be very, very difficult for a retake here. But he's opting to push right around the back. He's going to be coming up against Facento very, very soon.
Pre-aiming as he turns the corner. Catches Facento, needs some health. He only got tagged up by 1 bullet, though, and this is now a manageable 1v1.
Yeah, that was the perfect situation for him to make that kill, fall behind that crate as well, regain health, and now it's all down to a 1v1. He's going to find Aqua, but Aqua, he plays the smart game, but he's rated too high. He's got plenty of time. Down to the wire, Aqua making some smart decisions there, back and forth. And Aqua's in that difficult position. If you're in that position for him, that player, all you can see is, you know, a tank right in front of you. You like what you're seeing. You just don't know if he's challenging you, if he's going round your left, your right. But he bides his time, and he plays it very, very patiently.
And Aqua picked up 3 kills, if not the ace there. Very impressive stuff. It was actually Looney who picked up Joe. So, yeah, it would be 3 kills for Aqua. Rated almost clutches the 1v2.
And in the previous S&D, Aqua was the only one picking up kills at all, really. You know, so he's had a very consistent search and destroy. Facento, he's going to be seen by Shawnee. Hesitant to make that first play. But Red Reserve, it looks like they're edging towards the B-bomb site to start with. And maybe wrapping right around. Looney looking to cause some trouble in the middle.
And we've seen this position played by a number of players from all different teams. One of your strongest SMGs, if not the strongest, in that position where he can quickly wrap to either bomb sites, as well as control that center building. Looney is going to be hanging out down low and now gets the call from Aqua. Hey, they're all coming up the stairs. Looney's going to try and pinch up. Will he get there in time? Urban is right behind him, hot on his trail.
Oh, Urban. A little bit of a sloppy shot there, but a 2v4 should secure the round for him. He's going to see Facento, and now going to be traded by Rated. Just like that, a very smart play from Red Reserve. And it all came from that first blood of Joe. Taking down Aqua instantly on that bomb site, just changed the game for them, opened up the flank for Urban, and we see the series, or should I say map, tie up 1-1. The series is tied 2 at 2-2.
Facts. Basically all tied up, Nova.
It's pretty even.
Now, when we watched Red Reserve against Splice, they had a very close start against Splice in their game 5. They ended up losing a 1v3 to Jerd, a 1v1 to Mad Cat, and that's where things all spiraled out of control. So I'm looking for a big play from Rise Nation. Otherwise, they could find themselves in trouble. Aqua, he's staying hot. 3-0 on their first attack. Will he be able to find first blood here?
Previously, they were very, very aggressive towards that A-bomb site. Looks like the same, but a different route being taken through the showers. Urban this time is going to be pushed up a little bit further. Backing down now. No pressure has been gathered from it, but he's just lingering around the middle alongside his counterpart, Joe.
There's the peak. Urban's been spotted. But he's going to make the call-outs as well. Rated on the opposite side of the map, picks up 1, but he's instantly traded by Aqua.
Aqua's in a very difficult position right now. He just needs to stay alive, wait for his teammates to regroup, which he does. He backs down with Looney in a 3v3 now. Looks like, again, another rotation. How quick will Red Reserve read this, though? That is the question. Just like that. The minimap, as you can see, you see all 3 players pushing around, 25 seconds left on the clock. It wouldn't surprise me if they went straight for the plant as well, which will leave it kind of in a 2v3.
They don't know where the push is coming from, but they know a push is coming. Aqua pre-aiming the door. There's the pinch on the back end by Urban. And now Felony. You're going up against 3 people. You're pre-firing, but it's Urban all over you.
Classic Urban, utilizing those wall runs. It's what he does best. Going around that circle on the edge of the map, picks up 2, and then finalizes the round by picking up the 3rd. And again, Just giving them the edge here in this search and destroy. Like you said, Bucket, I'm almost waiting for that one round which maybe Red Reserve, they kind of throw away. Their S&D is usually pretty spot on. But if one thing to take from their S&D, sometimes they can get a little bit tilted if something goes majorly wrong. Felony having a tough hard point, 0-3 in the S&D. Hopefully see something special coming up in the next couple of rounds.
Urban is on a bit of a spree as well, so keep your eye on him as he is 2.5 kills away from earning himself some rockets. Shawnee slowing things down. He spotted Facento early in the round and then backed away. Red Reserve taking their time. They got 1 minute and 2 seconds before they plant.
He's definitely playing the slow game here and deciding which one to play. Urban, again, this is what he likes to do. He likes to get up high, use those in-game mechanics to his advantage. But again, backing down. And it looks like that bomb is rotating towards the A side. I'd like to see Rated just slow down a little bit, wait for his team.
I think he's going to go for it here.
Yeah, no one is in A, so he will be unchallenged.
Now, where he's planting the bomb, is there any defender's advantage?
Well, the one thing that he can do from that point is obviously from the commissary. You know, you can always use that as a quick getaway, but even from the middle, you can pretty much see it from anywhere. When you get that bomb down, you do have that advantage. And the crazy thing is, look how far away the likes of Joe and Urban are from this bomb. Red Reserve are in a very powerful position here. All 8 players still alive. Now they have the number advantage. They're already 2-1 up, Rated and Urban, making a 2v4, and Red Reserve should be able to close this one out. Bucket. Another trade goes down. Facento left in a 1v3. He's revealed his location, he's shot that MV4, and you know as well as I do, it's all she wrote. 3-1 is the score. Red Reserve confirming their search and destroy dominance here. I think the first S&D was 6-1, with only Aqua kind of performing for the likes of Rise Nation.
Everyone else had 1 kill basically going into that final round.
And the funny thing was the kind of VT that we saw from Rated said the one game mode we're worried about against Rise is their S&D, because they know how good they are, and in fact, so far so good here.
Rise Nation, they were 6-2 on this back in Anaheim. Game 5, will they be able to step it up? They're down 2, bomb in hand on the attack. No one currently set up at this B bomb site.
Yeah, this is not good for Red Reserve. They've kind of put a lot of eggs in one basket, always towards A. And with Aqua being spotted, the first blood would be massive here for Red Reserve. He goes down to about 50% health there, but he stays alive. This tank's Aqua's best friend at the moment.
And he is just pinched between 2 players. The trophy's going to keep him up to the first grenade. Here comes Urban, though, the flank with the E-Rad. Picks up Looney, then Aqua. 2 down. And Facento and Felony are the last ones up against all 4. Felony's going to trade out 1. And then shortly after get gunned, it's Rated taking the defuse, and it is Red Reserve primed to take game number 5 here.
Dave Marsh, AKA Urban, likes to hit the flank. We saw him, you know, in the first S&D. He was always on that flank, going through the middle and through barn. This time, he's doing exactly the same, and he's punishing Rise Nation for it. Urban actually, you know, contributed to that 3rd kill as well. He didn't manage to clean it up, but a very vital part of Red Reserve. And on your screen, the man himself, as well as Joe. Ginger Joe.
Ginger Joe.
A lot of people disappointed with the performance he's put in this year. Myself, one of them. Maybe it's his time to shine towards the end.
Joe and Rated, of course, played on Splice in the championship match at the end of Black Ops 3. They went over to Orbit to open up IW before eventually landing on Red Reserve. Shawnee on your screen, looking for first blood. You see the shoulder peek. Facento is going to get too aggressive, and he gets dropped, running into multiple crosshairs as Urban finds the first blood.
I know it's not a stat we can really recall, but I'd love to know the actual kills that Urban makes whilst he's not touching the floor. Like, he is always 20, 30 foot in the air, always making it very, very difficult for his opposition to spot him or even, you know, make that first connection with him. And again, first blood favors Red Reserve. They're playing so far back here. The streaks are coming in.
And I believe these are Urban's rockets. He's still looking for Aqua, and he is going to find it. Urban takes him down, 2 left. It's Looney and Felony. They're about to find themselves down 1-5 here in Search and Destroy unless they clutch this up.
Don't forget, Rise Nation, they took the first round here. So it's 4 back-to-back for Red Reserve, maybe 5, but Felony and Aqua They had to do something special. Sorry, Looney, should I say. He's now left in a 1v3. Not going to happen. 5-1 to Red Reserve. Can they replicate their 6-1 performance in the first S&D? Red Reserve, again, just kind of proving what their S&D really brings to the table. They've taken down Splice on Search and Destroy. They've taken down Rise already. Can they make it 3 out of 4 and back themselves a series on day 1?
Facento talking things over with Looney. So far, they have had no answers. Looney 1-6. Facento 2-6. Just simply getting outgunned by Red Reserve and Search and Destroy today. And this could be their last chance. Here comes the opening push. Looney's going to draw first blood, so you have to take advantage of that. The first 2 kills should give you the round. Rated gets out with his life. He still has a camo, and he's 25 away from earning these Trinity rockets. So even an assist here is going to be huge. He's going to go for the Ninja Defuse. There's a player right behind him. It's Looney.
No.
And Looney has no idea.
He's right in front of him.
It's going down.
Oh, my goodness.
The bomb is defused, and that is your series. The Ninja from Rated will lock things up for Red Reserve.
Big smiles all around, especially on Rated's face. Sometimes you just got to jump on it and defuse that bomb. I can't believe whoever number 4 was didn't see him.
There's Looney right on the other side of the wall. You had a player right next to Rated who is running forward. Looney thought the room was clear. And it's Rise Nation. They're getting cooked here in Search and Destroy.
I can't believe that round. That final round where Looney got that 2-piece, that's how they won the first round. It was aggressive play onto A, and they took it quite easily. They didn't replicate that throughout the whole of the Search and Destroy. Finally tried it again. It worked, but Rated, that secret little Ninja Defuse coming in. You don't see it very often on Infinite Warfare. It was pretty special.
I got good news for you. We're going to see it again. Here is Rated. Now look at the split. He spots a player leaving the showers. That, of course, is player number 1, Facento.
Look at
then
Felony.
You got Felony directly in front of the bomb. He doesn't see it. Now spots the player, but it's too late. By the time he drops the crosshair, Rated has finished the defuse, and the round is over. That's brutal, man. There is no worse way to lose in Call of Duty than a Game 5 to a Ninja Defuse.
That's tunnel vision right there. You're sat there, the bomb's down, he's looking at those 2 doorways. That's all he's focused on. Little does he know, Rated's down there diffusing. It's a tough way to lose. However, Red Reserve, they lost the first Game 5. They take the second Game 5. It's been a tough day for them.
Yeah, Red Reserve does have a pretty good map count so far. They go to a Game 5 versus Splice, another Game 5 here. We'll see how the rest of the tournament plays out. But to break down match number 3 of the day, we got Benson and the crew at the desk.
Thank you very much, Chris and Momo. A fantastic Game 5. You called it, T. You said it was going to go the distance. It does go the distance. And I'm actually happy, just kind of talking a little bit about that Ninja Defuse. We finally see someone just kind of hop the bomb. Finally.
I love it. It's like they watched.
It's like they would listen, man. Great to see, great to see. But we'll break down that series, of course, starting off with map number 1. It was a breakout hardpoint, of course. Final score 250 to 131. It goes in Red Reserve's favor. And to be honest, Red's rotations, TP, were what impressed you the most?
Oh, most definitely. And it was really expected after we saw them just dominate Splice on the map. They come into this one against a lesser opponent, and you expect them to take it. The rotations, especially over towards Commissary, Joe was being so annoying on that lower wall run. He would get there before the other team's able to rotate, and then as soon as the hill pops, as soon as he sees that hill go red from the other opposing team being in it, he pops up, gets the kill, and allows his team to break spawns towards the back. So really heads up play from them on that one, and really easy win.
Very true indeed. And there's, of course, a look at our box score, 250 to 131, as I mentioned. Rated a 2.0 KD. A fantastic performance from him.
Can we just say, Rise Nation, their hardpoint too is really poor.
Oh, absolutely.
The first series against United, they go up huge. They get, came back on. This one, you never really got the feeling it was going to be any close. Rated definitely dominated that one from start to finish.
And to that point, why do you think that is, Matt? Is there anything specific you've seen?
So, I mean, in the first games against United, I think, when they got ahead and then United started to make the comebacks, like, they never really kind of, like, reset, where they never kind of rotated early, everybody gets set up, like they never slowed the game down or tried to like recoup a little bit. They just kept running one by one, and just a lot of frantic play, people trying to make like hero plays, trying to make comebacks, and it never happened. In this one, I feel like they just got out-strategized. Rated was just very effective rotating early.
And one of the key things you actually noted, Merc, was a bit of a maybe role change for Facento, main AR. It definitely caught your eye.
But yeah, he's running the MV4 over Aqua, which I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out if it's working. I mean, Facento have played pretty well this series. Scorch is where he really shined. But yeah, I mean, Aqua's sort of been a top, AR player for the past few years. And maybe they're just trying to switch things up because things obviously aren't working. But I'm not quite sure that's the way it goes. But if Facento's comfortable, we'll have to see. Maybe they think Aqua's playing just a little bit too quick. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Kind of reminds me of like an Envy or just even like an Optic where they're switching. They're just trying to switch things up, trying to get things more effective.
But Aqua was the one guy who I thought at least you could kind of count on this team to actually pick up kills. So like, why take him out of that comfort zone?
Yeah, maybe it's that role. Maybe he wants to do something different.
That would be the only reason. Yeah, because it's a lot like what we talked about with Gunless last week, where Gunless had the NV4, and you're like, well, why the hell does he not have the K-bar or the E-Red in his hands? It's like, when you, obviously Aqua not a new player to this team, but when you have a new player or you're trying something else, it's like you don't change the guy that's doing well. You figure out how all the other pieces work around that guy.
Yep. Yeah, and I just think if you're Felony, you probably just want to delete this day. I do not think he had a great day one. A reason why I think Hardpoint for them was just a bad day overall. I think Felony plays into that. He's supposed to be sort of more of a roaming slayer. I think he just had an off day. And we've seen Rise throughout this year at Opens. When they've had like a bad day one, they've gone like 1-3 in pool play at our open events, 0-3 on a day one. So it's just sometimes for these guys, when things get tough, they get really tough.
It's almost kind of sums up a little bit about their past couple of months for this squad. I mean, again, to go back to stage one, you look at how close they were to qualifying. It really was a nail-biting finish, and 0-2 to start stage two. Definitely not what they would have wanted, but we'll talk a little bit now about map number 2, of course. Throwback, Search and Destroy comes through, and Red Reserve, I mean, they just had their way with Rise. 6-1, the final score. Matt, the key thing you actually noticed was, Red's teamwork on this map specifically today has just been unbelievably good.
Well, just Search and Destroy in general.
True.
I mean, they've been fantastic in S&D, and they lose the first round, and then they rattle off 6 in a row. Which is a really impressive performance from Red Reserve. And I at least thought they were going to be a scary team coming into the weekend. Like, you knew they would be able to win some S&Ds. Like, I thought they would be a little bit closer, to be honest.
Right.
But their S&Ds have been kind of blowout wins. It's really the respawns that impressed me.
Yeah, I mean, when we always hear about, like, an S&D team and they're supposed to specialize in S&D, like Fnatic, for example, sometimes it doesn't live up to the hype, but Red Reserve's definitely living up to that hype where they're just super confident. And Shawnee obviously goes 8-3, 2.67. Yep. Shawnee's been great all year long. And I think today he's had a very solid day number 1. But, yeah, just a great showing. That teamwork from Red Reserve and Search and Destroy is top notch.
As you said, a really good day for Shawnee, but definitely needs to carry that through. Yep. Still 2 more days here throughout this week, so there is definitely still so much to be played. And you take last week, prime example. You can go 2-0 all you want in day one. Doesn't necessarily solidify that spot.
You go 4-0, doesn't even solidify your spot.
That's a fact.
True.
It's good.
Bang.
Fact. Good fact. Moving forward, though, we'll talk a little bit now about map number 3. At this point, it's Red Reserve 2-0 up. We head over to the Uplink, and finally, TP, we get a little bit of life from Rise.
Oh, most definitely. And Red Reserve starts out very, very strong. And Facento, finally, we've been knocking these guys quite a lot today for the poor payload usage overall. We didn't really see it in this map. Rise was able to finally get their bearings going into the second half and really chip their way back into the scoreboard. The fact that this game is tied at this point and then Rise is able to end up and score 10 points is very, very impressive. Camo dunks back and forth. Rated is able to get this one to tie it up, and then they answer right back. Facento's Camo able to get some points on the board. So I think a very good uplink map overall on Precinct. This is the kind of uplink I want to see from these teams overall. There's been several times throughout Pro League where it's been pretty poor, not in this one.
Yeah, and this is the one game where you see everybody besides Rated play pretty poorly. Urban not having a great game, Shawnee not having a great game. Then on the side of Rise, finally you have Facento and Felony sort of step up, and you can see the impact it plays. They win a game 9-5. They scored 9 points in that second half.
Is it a product of Red Reserve? This is a team that they don't really blow a lot of teams out. They blow them out the first 2 games, and then you get to game 3 and you just kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit. You're up in the first half. You're like, oh, we got this one. We're bringing it home in the second half.
It's tough to say.
Rise Nation just blow them out.
I don't necessarily think so. I'm not one to obviously give opinions on the desk. It's down to you.
You're
guys,
allowed, Ben.
But you go back. You go back to the first.
America,
all right,
man.
fair enough.
Say what you want.
You go back to the first series, and they even expressed in the video against Splice, we feel like Uplink is going to be our weakness. And they struggled against Rise. They struggled against Splice as well. I mean, they got blown out against Splice. I think that could arguably be their worst game mode. No?
But when you're rolling, though, like you guys would probably know, like when you're just trying to like roll through a team, like and you win a big hardpoint game, you dominate the search, you're like everybody's like laughing a little bit on stage, you're joking around, like, and then you get a lead in the first half, like not a big lead, like you could easily see how that could kind of. Oh wow! They scored 9 points.
Where did that come from?
Yeah,
and you can't. It can't happen here.
No.
These maps, they might come back and bite them. Just a map like that. We've seen it happen throughout stage 1, throughout stage 2. You have to close out series. So hopefully that 3-0 doesn't hurt them. But you know, they were able to close it out in game 5.
Very true. Moving forward, we'll talk a little bit about game 4. Of course, that was the Hardpoint on Scorch. 250-228. Finally, Rise. They win themselves a Hardpoint, Matt. Their first of the day. They're 1-4 in the game time.
Yeah, if Joe wasn't the worst player ever for the first 4 minutes. I mean,
not me.
Red Reserve.
The other
guy.
Way to cover your tracks there.
Yeah, it wasn't
we haven't seen bad gameplay Joe in a while.
Nah, dude.
Nah, you've never had a bad game. But no, seriously, if Joe, like, I think he had like, we were going like towards like one of the last hills, he was like 6 or 7 kills. Like, if he was playing a little bit better, this is one where Red Reserve, I think, takes without question.
And the irony was, it was actually Joe which kind of brought Red Reserve back into the game. Yeah, I think it was the second to last hill. He goes off, he picks up like 3 or 4 kills. You hear Red Reserve getting a little bit hyped, a little bit of energy, and we're sat here going, oh my god, are they actually about to come back and take this again against Rise? I mean, that'd be heartbreaking.
So 3 minutes and 24 seconds ago, Joe's got 6 kills. He finishes the game with 14. You had like a few players in the lobby already at that mark.
Wow.
If he played like he did like in game 1, where he's a little bit faster paced and no, he's like really like kind of picking up those intro kills. This is one. I mean, you look at the score; it's relatively close.
And this play was sick here.
Oh, he was nuts here.
Watch right here. He turns around, gets this kill. He's gonna turn on this guy elbow. I was like, wow, wow.
I love that. Is that what you were like?
Yeah, dude.
Yo, we got to get Joe to do sound effects for the next game.
That was awesome.
I definitely agree. We should.
Raid's camo, though, was pretty poor. He got insta-killed in that one. I don't know if it's good shots or what, but...
I feel like, all jokes aside, there has to be a glaring issue here with Rise's Hardpoint, right? I mean, you had a massive lead, and then all of a sudden, Red Reserve, they go back into the lead in the closing couple of moments. I mean, see... What you do as a player, is that something you go back to the hotel and you say, all right, what the hell is going wrong in Hardpoint, and you watch the VOD?
I think they just get frantic. Mac touched on it earlier in the Hardpoints versus E United. When they lose control, they just sort of go into this frantic sort of pile to try and break. And wow, that's only 2 points on
that's a lot of points.
Every hill, they just switch back and forth.
Yeah, and that's
I've never seen a game like that.
That's just indicative of teams just not setting up appropriately to break hardpoints. They're just face smashing in the unfortunate side of the map, and they're not taking their time to go and wrapping around on the backside of spawns. They're just continually sending one player at a time, trying to win these impossible gunfights. And when the hills are that lopsided, both teams are doing it, and that's just poor Hardpoint overall. Yes, the score is close and it was a competitive map, but those just outlying hardpoints means you're not attempting to break hills well at all.
It's people trying to make hero plays.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, we need a few seconds on this hard point. What should we do? It's like, I'm going to go make the play. And then it never works.
And then no one does.
Your other teammate's like, oh man, like we need something to go our way. Joe's like, oh, I'm going to flank.
I'll do it.
Then he spawns everybody out and he doesn't pick up the kill. And
I'm flanking again.
Yep, there you go.
Keep
but no,
flanking,
seriously, that's what happens. People try and make hero plays. They try and win the game by themselves and it just doesn't work out.
Very true, very true. Well, we had a game 5, of course. It goes the distance series tied at 2-2. It's a breakout search and destroy. And, well, Red Reserve doing what's impressed us the most throughout today. They just blitz through their opposition when it comes to S&D. Another 6-1 convincing victory. And this one, of course, ends with that Ninja Defuse. We'll obviously talk about that in a little bit. But again, team, I felt this was more of the same, right? It was just Red Reserve's teamwork just outshining and outclassing Rise.
Yeah, definitely. And it's the only round that really went into Rise's favor. It was Aqua, again, the only saving grace on the side of Rise that was able to pick up some kills. And man, Felony just having a rough one. The hard point was not very good in his favor. Luckily, his team was able to clutch up and take that one. But going into this search as well, just not too much going for him. The Red Reserve just grouping up so much. It seems like they're always team-shotting someone in search to destroy. It just makes the map so easy. Definitely. Just Rise players overwhelmed.
You can't lose on a Ninja Defuse. I mean, regardless of everything that happens, I mean, you just can't.
Yeah. I mean,
I can only think of a few Ninja Defuses that have actually happened.
Yeah.
Karma G2.
That was fun.
Right?
Meltdown S&D. That was a 1v3.
That's really it. I mean, I would love to see
there was the European finals last year. I know there was a Ninja Defuse came in there.
Yo, Pat at Niagara. That saved
that one too.
I love that one.
I know it was a good one too. Well, it didn't actually happen, but when we were in Paris, The ESWC one? Okay, so
a good one that didn't actually happen.
The good one that didn't actually happen, but we're at ESWC for Black Ops 2, and it's a meltdown. We get the bomb down inside, and we're playing Vitality, and all the lights just start going crazy. And I just remember we were all like, why would they throw the celebration lights on? And Pat goes, yo, check bomb. They were like getting the pre-celebration ready for like the French fans, and they just totally gave it.
Like you saw the mini map, and as soon as you saw lights go off, all the arrows were boom.
Look at the bomb.
It's funny.
He was just laying down.
Well, speaking of that, Diffuse, we'll take a look at it one more time in super slow-mo. I guess the question to ask is really, how does this happen? Because obviously we've talked about, you should be hopping on those bombs. It's a smart play to make.
I love it.
And this is a 2v4.
To be fair, that was crazy timing. The fact that #1, that's Vicento, just went back into showers and caught the guy. The fact that they didn't see him, there's no way they're expecting this for the first, 3, probably 4 seconds. But then this guy walks back in. Felony, this is I think the third time today that he walks out of him. Yeah, he walks out of a door and he just doesn't seem to see the guy. It happened on throwback where he feet. He didn't react right away.
Yes, they are, Joe.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening with Felony.
You can see the dude's arm like when he comes around the corner the first time.
Maybe he thought it was a dead body because Looney was on the outside wall run. Somebody was flanking cell block. It was just great timing by Rated, but I mean, he did just kind of look at him in the face.
Because you've killed 3 people by then, and I mean, you're obviously calling it out, but like you could think maybe that one of them died like on the bomb, near the bomb, possibly, but. I don't know. It's a tough one to lose.
Emphatic fashion, 6-1, of course, the final score. Red Reserve, a really important win for them, of course, and for Rise, 0-2 on day 1, not the start they would have wanted. Moving forward, however, we did have a score streak segment going on in that last game. Of course, the score streak prediction game exclusive to MLG.TV. You guys can play over on there. I know, Joe, you're good at your score streak game, but I'm yet to see your name on top of a leaderboard.
Yeah, it's because I have so many different accounts. It's all my names.
They're all your names. You're just smurfing. You're just like the king Smurf, just playing all those.
It's difficult for Joe.
I have all the trophies.
All the trophies. I do. Wouldn't surprise me. Well, we'll take a look at some of the questions we asked during that last series. I believe in map #1, we asked how many points will Red Reserve score in game 1. A couple of the options, 0 to 100. 1% of you thought they were going to get 100-point clubbed. B was 101 to 150. Of course, the correct answer there was the 201 to 250. I feel like if you think Red Reserve is going to win the map, you go with D.
Yeah, I definitely thought they were going to win Breakout, so that's an easy one. I like that was the 1%. It was probably just one guy's like, yeah, they're getting
100% of that 1% is from North America. Yeah. If you're doing math, that would be everybody.
Fact. Good math, Matt.
All right, man. Anytime.
You should play the score streak prediction game with math like that. In map #2, we asked, will game 2 go past the 9th round? 67% of you said yes, 33% said no, and it was obviously 6-1 victory, 7 rounds, so B was the correct answer. I feel like that's a tougher one, though, Merc, because Red Reserve has been good in Search and Destroy, but have they been that good where you would kind of wager?
Well, we've just seen a lot of S&D games this entire year. Probably, I would say like 6-3, 6-4 is probably the average, just with payload usage. I mean, you don't typically see too many 6-0s or 6-1s. Red Reserve's been doing it all day, but typically around that 6-3 area is what we've seen majority of the year. So I went on with the majority and said yes.
Fair enough. And then finally in map 3, we asked how many points will the winning team score? Of course, that was the Uplink. 62% said less than 10. 38% said 10 points or more. Matt, you look confused by that.
Yeah, I mean, usually Uplink, we see more than 10 points pretty consistently. Like, when do we see...
Especially the winning team.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to be getting more than, like, 5 or 6 points.
Yeah, losing teams we see with, like, 8 or 9. Like, it's really rare where we see, like, a 5-3 Uplink game.
Especially Precinct. Like, that's one of the most snowbally maps we have, so...
Well...
Frost, too.
Matt, they made a choice. Unfortunately, it was the wrong one.
Well, they should be better next time.
All right. Well,
great advice from Matt.
Fair enough. Well, we'll take a look at our leaderboard and we'll see who is topping. Is there any names we recognize?
Mrs. Breadstick
this week.
No, I don't think I've ever.
No, but five, of course, the current highest streak. I expect to see that change.
My towel twist.
Decent start. Of course, you can play the score streak prediction game exclusively at mlg.tv/COD. And there, of course, you have your up-to-date event statistics, your player POVs, and that fantastic source quality. But we still have plenty of action left here at week 3 of stage 2 of the CWL Global Pro League. Day 1, however, is coming to a conclusion with just 1 match left here to be played on the day. Splice versus E United still to come as both teams fight for a 2-0 start.